In Minecraft, furnaces have been around for a while and are one of the most important utility blocks. But today, whether you're here because you've never seen a furnace before, or you're here for the game-breaking XP bug, or maybe you think you know more about furnaces than me, I'm going to be telling you everything you'll possibly need to know about the furnace. Hello everybody, my name's A2K and this is a furnace, and today I'm going to tell you literally everything there is to know about it. I'll start off simple and get more technical later. So without further ado, this is a furnace. A utility block which serves its main purpose to cook and smelt items into different ones. They are obtained by crafting 8 cobblestones in the crafting table on the outside grid, but outside of that they spawn naturally in village blacksmiths, most snowy village houses, and in igloos. The furnace is interactable, and doing so will open this interface, where there's an input, an output, and fuel. I would tell you everything that can go in each slot, but most of this stuff you should already know by logic, and Google can help you if you get stuck. Now, a furnace takes 10 seconds to smelt one item, which I do admit is really slow, but if you need the job done faster, then don't worry. There are 2 other variants of furnaces, the smoker and the blast furnace. Both have their unique crafting recipes and makes the furnace smelt at twice the speed, which also makes them consume fuel at twice the speed. However, it also narrows down the list of items the furnace can smelt. The smoker can only smelt food items, while the blast furnace only smelts ores and old equipment. There are, however, some blocks that fit in neither category, such as sand and cactus, which just have to go in the normal furnace. I will also add that blast furnace and smokers affect the jobs that villagers have. A villager can claim a blast furnace and become a armorer, and a villager can claim a smoker and become a butcher. Onto fuel now. It's pretty self-explanatory, and everything in these item frames can be put in the bottom slot of the furnace. However, there are a few interesting fiddles between versions. On Bedrock Edition, nether bricks and gold nuggets can be used as fuel, taking literally 10 of them to smelt an item. This is of course a bug, not a feature. And to add to that, in Bedrock, 6 bamboo will smelt 1.5 items. However, craft that 6 bamboo with 1 string and you get 6 scaffolding, which smelts 36 items in Minecraft Bedrock. Sounds pretty worth it if you ask me. I should also add that this meme right here only applies to Java, because you can't put wool in the furnace in Bedrock. Onto properties now. Furnaces are full blocks, they are not transparent, and when lit they create a light level of 13. In addition to this, they can't be pushed or affected by pistons. In only Java of course, because Bedrock decided to be special. And because of that, well, for all the Bedrock players out there, stuff like this can be possible, a rotary furnace. And finally, we can talk about how furnaces interact with hoppers. A hopper on top of the furnace inputs items into the ingredient slot, a hopper on any side inputs items into the fuel slot, and the hopper on the bottom takes any items out of the output slot. It should also be noted that a hopper underneath the furnace also takes empty buckets out of the furnace if you're using lava. Alright, now we can get into some of the fun game-breaking stuff. When hoppers take items out of furnaces, the XP accumulated from smelting stays inside the furnace until the player manually takes 1 item out of the output slot. On Java, this works fine and the furnace empties and recharges XP when it's smelting again. However, on Bedrock, it doesn't exactly remove the XP in the furnace. And because of that, it literally rewards the player with XP every time they take an item out of the output slot. Is it broken? Very. But hey, it can bend your tools pretty well. The best part too is that the setup is really simple. So simple in fact that most of you here might have accidentally created one sometime without realizing its potential. To set up such a machine, all you have to do is fuel a furnace in any way you want, leave a hopper on top which feeds items into the furnace, and leave a hopper on the bottom to take items out of the furnace. It really won't matter what items you're putting into the furnace as long as they can be smelted. Now, this looks like a conventional smelter, but now we can unlock its full potential. By putting a lever on the side of the hopper, we can freeze the hopper and have an item ready to collect inside the furnace. Now, the moment you grab it, you'll be rewarded with all the XP, and you can basically rinse and repeat. Just know that the more items that the furnace smelts, the higher the XP goes. And eventually, you can gain more XP than killing the dragon by simply collecting 1 pork chop. But I will warn, this takes hours upon hours to set up, and I do recommend sticking to either a blast furnace or a smoker. Moving on, now I'll talk about some of the more technical stuff, which will help you in super smelters and large scale furnaces. There are a few ways to power your furnaces completely renewably, and one of the simplest options is to use a small bamboo farm, which would be a lot more viable if their zero-tick farms still existed. Well, sadly now they don't. Or, as another option, you can simply use a kelp farm to supply kelp, which you can smelt into dried kelp, and craft into more blocks to smelt more kelp. I will have to point out though, that for every 20 kelp that a block is able to smelt, 9 goes into making another kelp block, and down the line crafting becomes a pain too. But it's one of the more effective ways to get free fuel. If you want to something really large scale, then a wither skeleton farm gives you a whole bunch of coal, but those are quite difficult to set up. Finally, one final thing to know about furnaces is that they smelt one item every 10 seconds, and hoppers transport 25 items every 10 seconds. Meaning that if you have a smelting power of over 25 furnaces, then that hopper will limit your efficiency. At that point, it's better to just use raw items and water streams. Hey there, you've made it to the end of the video. Now, this video I didn't really go into things in much detail, it's more just a general thing about furnaces. But if you really wanted me to, and you wanted to see some cool farm designs or anything like that, let me know in the description. In addition to this, I haven't been really posting much Minecraft content lately, so if you want to see more, then don't forget to tell me too. Now, with all that said and done, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!